Sometimes I can't even believe I've made it this far in this conversion. I went from just shy of a year and a half ago, so lost in where I was religiously, and now I'm on my path to being a Jewish woman. Time flies. Time flies. Shalom, everyone. My name is S, and I'm taking you on my conversion journey. Today is going to be a little different. I want to talk to you guys about where I'm at in my conversion, and I like to do these little videos every couple of videos to make sure you guys are on the same page with me and make sure you guys are on track and knowing where I'm going. And right now, I am heading towards the end. And when I say the end, I mean maybe in about 4 months, I'll be going to the Mikveh. And I realized there are a lot of things that cross my mind and that I want to prepare for before I take that dip. I think this would be beneficial for anyone who's converting or people who are looking into converting and don't really kind of understand the process. I'm actually going through it and I'm still trying to figure out each step of the way. And I think now that I'm heading towards the final stretch, I just wrote down a few things of how I'm going to prepare to live a Jewish life. And I thought I would share this with you guys. So if you aren't subscribed to my channel, take a look below, make sure you're subscribed. And if you're interested in taking a closer look on my journey, subscribe to my Patreon and check all the links down below to see how you guys can connect with me. So let's get right into it. The first thing I would say to look into or to really acknowledge is how you feel. So right now I am feeling the most confident I've ever been on my journey. I am sure that I want to do this. I am excited to be a Jewish woman, and I am thrilled to be a part of this community. I am also a bit scared. Everybody's scared of the unknown and what my future does look like, but I try my best to remain as positive as I can and be on top of things that I don't know and to not fall for things that might hurt me, that might be detrimental to my Jewish life, and to just be confident. I made a video about confidence and some things that I was struggling with, and I'll leave it above so you guys could take a look at that, because that's a huge part in this process, is just figuring out where you are and going at your own pace. And if you have any type of feelings that are negative, it's important to examine that, because you don't want to go to the mikveh with any type of regret, any type of disheartening feelings or harbor any bad energy when you are walking into this beautiful life, because it's gonna damage the whole experience of it. And that's what I'm realizing is, even though I can't control everything in life, life is crazy, life is gonna throw you so many different curveballs. You just have to accept the things you can't change, understand you are human, and to be in tune with your feelings. And don't be afraid to show emotion. Don't be afraid to express your thoughts, write them down, make YouTube videos about it, and just be true to yourself. The next thing I would suggest to do is talking to your family. now that like my family's on board, I'm like, all right, throw me all the questions possible. And sometimes I catch myself getting a little annoyed or a little like irritated by their questions because they're coming from zero knowledge of Judaism. And I realize that I can't do that. That's not their fault. And I have to kind of control that feeling and kind of shift it towards being excited and proud to teach them and kind of guiding them on this journey. And I think my biggest mistake was not getting them involved sooner. And I think the sooner you get your family involved, the sooner, the more involved they are, the less you'll have to teach them along the way, because you'll be excited to tell them all the things that you're learning, all the things that you'll be doing and how your life is going to change. And at the end of the day, they are your family and they're going to love you no matter what. And I was talking to my family about, I'm heading towards the end of this and how I feel and how, they think their lives are going to change too. And it might be different for them a bit, but, especially for my parents, they're going to be having Jewish grandchildren. And this is a first for them. So when, they're asking me all these questions, I keep that in mind. They're just curious to how this may affect them and their future. So talk to them, get them involved, and tell them how you feel, tell them what they need to know. And one of the things, tell me if you guys think this is stupid, because my family's so big. I have my parents, both my parents are alive. I have 7 other siblings. And I thought about typing up a frequently asked questions document and basically handing it out to them, and for them to basically highlight which questions they think that they don't understand or anything like that. And I think that'll keep them on top of things, and that'll kind of make things funny. My family likes stuff like this, so I think they'll really appreciate it, because they're hammering me with so many questions. And I think we could kind of turn this into, I don't want to say like a fun game, but we can turn this into something exciting, and it's not going to be so heavy, and it's a way to really get them involved. And just a lot of progress can happen when you just talk to people. And out of everyone in my family, my father is very interested. I think he wants to be Jewish. My father is just really interested. And I think I'm probably going to try to get him involved more, because I wouldn't have known this if I didn't talk to him. And well, like everyone in my family is very much involved now, but I kind of neglected them by not talking to them. So talk to your family, people. You're not alone. Your family loves you, and they want what's best for you at the end of the day. And if this is how you're going to live your life and choose to live your life, get them on board, because they want to be on board. The next thing would be to just ask your rabbi about like how your progress is going, and have them basically evaluate you. I love my rabbi. I am blessed. I swear, I've said this plenty of times on this channel. I am blessed with how many people have helped me, how many people have guided me on this journey. My sponsoring families, like all of them the community is just phenomenal, and they welcomed me with open arms. And my process in that area, like finding a rabbi and a community, was very easy for me. And some people who convert aren't so lucky. So I understand that process is very hard. But when you do find your rabbi and find somebody who you can connect with, don't be shy to ask them anything. Like, I am on top of my rabbi. Like, I need you to answer this. I'm always crying to him about pretty much everything. And I love that man. I think he's just a wonderful spirit, a great energy to have around. And you should feel that too with whoever your sponsoring rabbi is. And you should go and just talk to him, ask him anything. Ask him what to expect, once you do finish your conversion, what's expected of you, how you should actually be preparing. What are some areas that you think you lack in? What are some areas he can suggest for you to improve on, and so on and so forth. And tell him to be completely transparent, which he most likely will. And having a rabbi is a very key resource in this entire conversion. So use him. The next thing I would say is practice davening. So far, the best book I'm currently reading, and I've been reading so much, but the best book, and I would suggest for you to study it, is Pray as a Jew. And I'll leave that down below so you guys could order that book. It's out of all the books, this book is the clearest on what you should be doing the second you walk into a synagogue to when you're at home, and the whole cycle of how you're praying during the week, what each prayer means, and reciting different blessings. It talks about literally everything when it comes to davening. And that is a key thing if you want to not be intimidated when you walk into a synagogue. And it just expands your mind and really gets you to daven with kavanah. And before, in the beginning, when you look at my video when I first said, I'll leave that down below too, my video when I first walked into a synagogue and my first synagogue experience, I was literally there like, what's everybody doing? And now it's way different, and it's because I have the skills and I have the knowledge of what I'm doing, where I'm going, how I'm supposed to be doing things. And it all comes together with practice. The more you go to the synagogue, the more you wake up in the morning, do your morning prayers, evening prayers, night prayers, it just becomes a habit, and you get used to it. And you're going to be doing this for the rest of your life. And as crazy as it sounds, it's actually quite beautiful. It's like a state of awareness, a state of consciousness, that every step you take in life, you are aware of where you're going and what you're doing, and you're giving thanks to Hashem, and you're living in the moment. And you're taking that bite of fruit and you're saying a blessing on it. And you're walking into a synagogue and you're feeling that your spirit and the energy when you walk in. Like, this book really takes your davening to the next level, and it helps you practice. So don't be afraid to take it to that next level, because right now, towards the end of my conversion, this is the most important thing right now, because I personally, for myself, I can't go into the mikveh without getting this down right, because it just wouldn't feel right to me. Like, I'm just going to go to the mikveh because I just want to finish converting, or I actually want to feel like, a Jewish woman who knows how to daven, who knows how to build a family, who knows how to do all these things. I want to make sure everything is in place. And you should too. Next is talk to your sponsoring family. I reached out to one of my sponsoring families to ask them for extra help. Every family has some type of background, education in Judaism, because they've been practicing this their entire life. And I just been fortunate to be a part of a family whose one of the mothers used to teach and do Bible study. And I told her, I reached out to her and I just asked, I was like, do you mind spending an extra 30 minutes a week just doing Torah study, Bible study with me? She couldn't have been more happier with this request. Like, she was thrilled that I reached out and happy that I could trust her enough with her knowledge to inform me on all the biblical text. And, you know, she was more than happy to do it. And I think as you go on your conversion journey, you can't do this alone. You're going to need a community. You're going to need to reach out to people, step outside the box, and do things you're not so comfortable with. I wasn't comfortable going to a synagogue. I wasn't even comfortable reaching out to a rabbi. I wasn't comfortable going to somebody's house to do Shabbat. And because I wanted this so bad, I just did it. I did it scared. And now I'm at the stage where I'm just like, hey, I'm coming over for Shabbat. Okay, I'm coming to the synagogue. I'm going to shul this week. Like, you know, and I'm just a part of this community to the point that people see me being authentic and they know how important this is to me. So they are willing to help, and people are willing to help, but you have to ask for it. It's not going to come knocking at your door. You have to be the one to step out, get uncomfortable, and start asking for help. And this shows that you have good intentions too. The next is prepping for the Bet Din. Now, if you watch my Patreon video about how my first meeting went, go down in the links below and check that video out because it's very interesting. And I think I'm going to make another video on what the Bet Din actually said about me, which was something new, and I was very pleased about that. So check down below for my Patreon and you guys can check those videos out. But prepping for the Bet Din is, to me, it's not like, of course you're going to be dressed modest whether you're a man or woman, and you know, but it's more so like mentally. I like my first meeting, I was extremely nervous. I was just thinking all the bad things and all this, you know, and in my mind, I wasn't like mentally ready to actually talk to them about my process and everything. I was just like, okay, I'll answer the questions. This is the answer. Like, you know, and very like that. But that's not how it's actually going to be. Especially since I had this first meeting, I was like, okay, I need to bring it down to reality. These people, yes, they're the Bet Din, but they're rabbis. They're beautiful people. You know, at the end of the day, these men have so much knowledge. And I realized that the only thing I can do is just prepare mentally, to not stress myself, to not overthink, and most of all, to not be somebody I'm not. And that alone, that last point alone, was my whole entire conversion in a nutshell. You're constantly trying to figure out, like, who am I supposed to be? Am I supposed to be like the saint? Am I supposed to be somebody who's... No, you're just supposed to be yourself. And that's what I'm gonna be. I'm not gonna pretend to be a goody two-shoes. I'm not gonna pretend to be a know-it-all. I'm gonna go there and just be modest and be myself and be how I am with you guys. And answer whatever questions naturally, whatever questions they ask, just be real. And if you don't know it, you don't know it. And if you do, you do. What they want to see overall, from what I realize, is that you are pure and you're going to live a religious life. And I plan on doing that. The next thing is starting to search for a community and a shul to live in. This can get tricky if you aren't like already married, or if you aren't dating, or like if you don't have somebody, because I'm not too sure where life is going to take me after this. But I know I have family in New York, but I also know that I would love to live in a different state. So I'm like constantly searching for different communities. And it's important to know what type of community you want for yourself and what your level of religious beliefs and religious practices are going to be. And I see myself, I've always said I want to live a modern Jewish life. And to many people, that could be several different things. You know, I want to be a part of this community. What if this community is too strict? What if this is this? What if this is that? And it's good for you to just go out and do some research upon what exactly you want. But like I said, things might change once you get married, once you find somebody. So it's something that I'm like constantly like teeter-tottering in. I can continue to be a part of this community that I've been converting with. The only problem is when I do go to shul, I need a place to stay. And that means that if these families can't accommodate me, I most likely can't. I don't want to drive. I don't want to break Shabbat. And it's going to be tricky doing that unless I move. But I just signed another year lease, so we'll see. But it's definitely something that I would start thinking about, that I am actually thinking about towards the end of your conversion. Finding a special community for you. Another thing is, this is something like that was quite interesting to me when I was talking to one of my Jewish friends at work. I wear extensions. I wear fake eyelashes. I also paint my nails. I'm a woman, so, you know, rarely do I wear makeup. And when I do, it's very obvious and bad. So I try not to, but when you're preparing to go to the mikveh, you can't have all this going on. And I'm learning to just kind of tone it down until afterwards to just have a more natural look. So make sure your nails are cut, make sure you're nail polished, you don't have any nail polish on, natural face, no fake anything. I think I only have like 2 lashes left. Your extensions, no extensions, and be as natural, no jewelry, none of this. And just start being in that mindset, because you don't want them to say that, okay, you're ready to go to mikveh and you got like all types of nails and craziness going on. I'm learning to just prepare myself like mentally for it and actually physically. Learning to just be more of a natural beauty is crucial when you're going into the mikveh. You want to be pure. You're coming out as a Jewish person, as a Jewish woman, as a Jewish man. So, that sent chills down my spine because I'm excited for that to come. So I'm not gonna like be like, oh no, I can't go to the mikveh because I have dumb nails. Like, don't let that be a reason that you can't, take that dip. So the next thing is comprehend exactly what you're doing. I've heard stories of people going through the entire process like I am, taking that dip, and then within like 3 months, they just decided that Judaism wasn't for them. And I'm not saying that person is bad or like wrong. Life is crazy. Life can really make you look at things differently. Some people may have felt connected to it during the process and then just immediately disconnected once it isn't pretty or sexy anymore. Like, this part of the process is just the beginning. Like, going through a whole conversion is cool. It's nice. But once the conversion is over, that's when things do get hard. That's when things get very serious. And the judgment is there. Everything is there right after. Right now, I'm getting away with so many things because I'm not Jewish yet. But once I do take that dip, it's a wrap, And you have to take this seriously. And sometimes that can scare people. So really understand what you're doing here. You are converting to a different religion, a different culture, a different group of people. And you have to understand, this goes into my next point. You have to understand this is just the beginning. And it doesn't frighten me because I'm so good at it, but it might scare some people away, you know? And even so, even my family, they're like, wait, aren't you supposed to, you're not supposed to, you aren't supposed to, you know? And I'm just like, okay, eventually I want it to get to the point where people don't have to do that. People don't have to point at me and say, you're wrong for doing this. You're doing this the wrong way. Eventually, I just want people to accept me for me and know that I understand that I converted and the things that I know that I should not be doing. Because people are going to critique you for maybe forever, who knows? You just have to just live your life and know that you're doing your best at it. My last thing is understand like what you are representing now. You're representing all the Jewish people. But in a way, you know, I just feel like I'm held like to a higher standard of maturity, elegance, grace, righteousness, intelligence, spirituality. I don't feel like I'm better than anyone. I just feel like my own standard of living is set higher. And I feel like I have a personality that can handle this type of pressure. And this is why I try not to say that. I mean, I'm sure I've said it, but in my mind, like I try not to say Judaism is so hard, you know, because it's more so like, listen, we hold ourselves to a higher standard and we have high expectations for our people. And doesn't matter the color of your skin, doesn't matter like what you do or how much money you have. What matters is what's in your heart. And when you are finished, when you are heading towards the end of your conversion and you're walking into this group of people, to this powerful group of people, a lot of people aren't going to understand it. But the one person who should is you. So make sure you comprehend what you're doing and what you represent, because the standards are set very high. So that's basically it. I am excited to be on this final stage with you guys. And I thank you guys for following me on this journey. And this is just the beginning of it. I plan on like taking you guys through literally my entire Jewish life for as many years as I get. And I can't even tell you what to expect because I don't know what tomorrow holds. I just know that I'm doing this and we are doing this together. So if you aren't subscribed to my channel, please check down below and make sure you're subscribed. Also, don't forget to download your free ebook on modesty that I wrote myself. So I hope you guys enjoy that. And if you want to take a closer look at my personal journey on becoming a Jewish woman, follow me on Patreon and subscribe to that and take a closer look on all the events that are happening in my life. Thank you guys so much, and I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Shavua Tov, and I'll see you in the next video. Shalom.